So here we go, guys, and welcome to the O2. A little bit later than advertised, due to my fault for not pressing the right button. So here we go. We are up and ready, and we have on our red team here we have blue team is Team Flora, and the red team is 2.5 Lewis. So 2.5 Lewis here versus Flora. Nice opening play there from our red team. Early 2-point lead there. 4-point lead. 20 seconds remaining now. 20 seconds played. 5-point lead. Red's really starting to dominate. Blue's got to pick up the pace here hugely. 7-point lead. Wow. Blue's really got to up this firepower. Just far too few shots coming from the blue team. Movement's good, dodging's good. Just really low on the movement angle. Ten-point lead now to Reds. Absolutely dominating. Good groundwork, good dodging, good use of shields. They've clearly got their heads into this. First-time players, it's amazing what they're doing here. Help. Wow, I am not having a good day on buttons today. Sorry about that, folks. So it's 18 points to 7. Well, you got my commentary what the match looked like. I promise it'll be vastly more professional from here on out. So great play there coming through. Reds absolutely dominating there on that scoreboard point. I was relying on you folks in the chat to tell me that. Oh well, we're all good now. So 18 points to 7, real clear and defined win there for red team. So teams just now prepping up and getting ready to go for round 2. So what we're going to be doing today, we have got a set of teams here, all from the College of Esports. And they're going to be running in round robins against each other. So we've got the teams going to run a full round 1, which is what they're going through at the moment, which is kind of that real sort of, not quite training, it's their real early stage matches while they're getting prepped up. And then we're running into round 2, which is where we're going to expect to see the pace to really increase, because they've had a lot more game experience, but then really got into how to play. Let's get back on court. 80 seconds on the clock. Here we go. HADO fight. One point apiece. Nice. Blue's now edging ahead. Got to keep see if they can keep this going. Can't let red start to get that headway they got game 1. That initial headway that red team managed to land in was just way too much in that first round. Good work from the blue team this time. Really put keep themselves within reaching distance of the Reds. Basically, because you've got 3 points available on the pitch at any one time, the other team are your points. That there is always the capacity to score a 3-point element within a fraction of a second. So just down 5 points here now. 3 points again. Brilliant work from Blues, pulling themselves back into proximity on the Reds. Still plenty of time on the game here. 5-point lead again to Reds, and really starting to move ahead now. 6-point lead, 20 seconds on the clock. We need something big from Blues here. We've got to massively up that firepower. As ever, it's just that sort of just a little bit low on the fire rate. Just got to pick that up as we go. 10 seconds now. 6, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Dominating win there from 2.5 Lewis on the red team there. 22 points to 13. So we've got a couple of very strong teams coming out in what we're seeing here from these early games. So next up we have Flora and Blue are staying on the pitch, and we're going to be moving forward with Shirtan Dynasty coming to challenge them. So Shirton Dynasty will be on the red and Flora will be on the blue. So that should give us a nice mix-up again. In practice so far, they're probably the two lower fire rate teams. So it should be quite an even game, this one. But as I said, what we see is this improvement game on game, though, with the players. And we see this constant increase in firepower, movement, shield usage. So hopefully we're going to start to see that pick up from both of them as we work through here. We're going to be moving on after this to Shirton Dynasty against 2.5 Lewis. Then 2.5 Lewis versus Senior Citizens. Senior Citizens and 2.5 Lewis, in what we've seen so far during practice training things, they're definitely the two higher firepower teams. So that should be a really, really good one. And then we're finishing this round on Senior Citizens versus Flora, who by that point obviously will have had a whole lot more gameplay. So it's to see something a lot more aggressive, a lot more firepower coming from them by the point at that stage. And that'll be the end of round 1. So all teams played. We're then going to do round 2, run that round robin again. But this time, obviously, the team is going to be significantly more experienced in the gameplay. HADO takes such a short period of time for you to really build up that experience and for your gameplay to start increasing, that we're going to see that as we go game on game. And by the time we get to round 2, should be starting to see a huge amount more movement, dodging, evasion, much more accuracy in the shooting as well, better shield placement, much more tactical play overall. So those rounds should be a real nice step up from what we're seeing in round 1. Not round 1's bad, but round 2 should be better. And that'll then take us through to our final, where we'll take our top 2 teams in those 2 rounds to face off against each other. In our final sort of winner takes all battle. And then our winning team there is going to take the AI challenge. So at the end of each of our regional tournaments, our players are facing off against the system AIs, because HADO being a digital sport, we can basically put in AIs. We can put in non-player characters, and same way you can in a video game. And we're going to use those to balance the teams against, to get a look at their abilities, how they do, what they're doing. Right, let's go back to the game. Here we go. Game on. Good opening salvo from Flora on blue there. Nicely done. Edging ahead by a point. We've got to keep this momentum going. 2 points up. And what we've seen so far, these are the two more slightly lower firepower teams, so we're expecting this to be a pretty even game, this one. Red's definitely still in this fight here. So reached the halfway mark, 40 seconds, just 2 points separating the teams now. Good dodging, good evasion. Start to see that Ashley's starting to duck underneath shots as well, coming from some of the players. Left and right is okay for dodging, but up and down is much, much more effective. Basically ducking under incoming shots. Turning and spins are also really good, but they're probably guys are a little bit early in the gameplay to be really adding that in effectively. 4.5 point lead now for Flora on blue. Really, really pushing ahead here. 10 seconds remain, just 4 points on it. 5 seconds. Points going both ways, but Flora maintained that 4 point lead. 3 point lead. It finishes 14-11. Victory for Flora against Shirton Dynasty. That's just game 1. Obviously, we're playing best of 3 on all of our rounds here. Blue player 4 there, really having a standout game. 8 knockouts scored, and taking the KO in hit rate, knockouts, and total player score. Really, really good play there from blue player 4. So, teams just quickly get themselves prepped and ready. And we'll be getting ready to go into their second game very soon. So, game 2 on this, obviously we're going to see where we go in terms of that flick round for our teams. Now, Flora obviously doing really, really well in game 1. Be interested to see whether Shirton Dynasty can up the firepower, up their aggression, and pull this back in game 2. A lot of discussion going on the court right now. Tactics, ideas, trying to G each other up. Some of that, friendly banter stuff. Tactical discussions going on there from Flora on the blue team. Shirton Dynasty just get themselves logged and ready. So for those who've not seen HADO before, I know we've kind of breakneck gone into the matches here. So in front of each player, you've got a target. It's that disc made of 4 segments. That's what you're trying to hit, not the person. Hit the target. Big walls up here in the air. They're shields. They stop incoming fire. Obviously, the energy blasts that flying across the pitch. That's what you're trying to hit the targets with. Targets move with you. So as you move around the pitch, it moves with you. You turn, it turns with you. So the more mobile you are, the harder you become to hit. Good opening work again from Team Flora on blue. Good momentum going there. Reds have got to get the work out from here. They've got to just stop that flow of momentum, get themselves back in this game as quick as they can. Can't allow Flora to establish the kind of lead they got in round 1. Good work so far from Shirton Dynasty on red. Keeping Team Flora within single point lead. They can keep this work going. Coming up on the halfway mark now. Still just 1 point separating the teams. 2 point, now back to 1 point again. Great, and they've pulled, and Shirton Dynasty have pulled it even. And Flora have got to gonna have to really dig deep and fight now. Hold Shirton Dynasty off. Matching them again, point for point, 10 to 10. Coming up on 20 seconds to play now, 11 points apiece. Really, really good play from both teams here. 15 seconds. 10 seconds, 13 points apiece. Are we going to go to overtime? 15, 2 point for red, 3 point for red. Great finish from Shirton Dynasty. Shirton Dynasty take game 2. So that is 1 game apiece. Said all these matches have been played as best of 3. So this is going to the 3rd game decider. So really, really good play from both teams there. Great match there in game 1 from Flora. Really, really good fight back there from Shirton Dynasty in game 2. So this is going to go to a 3rd game decider. So you've seen these. Great to see that we're already getting the teams this close. As it goes through the tournament, we're going to expect to see this more and more. Because overall, the real thing in how that matters is your experience. Your experience in playing, how much you've done, your training as you go through. Because look, so much of it is really intuitive in how you play. You know, you see on the videos there, you just throw your arm forward to throw an energy blast, a HADO, across the pitch at your opponents, and it goes where you're looking. Dodge to move the incoming fire, flick your arm high to low to raise that shield up. It's very, very quick and intuitive controls to learn, which means therefore you pass that stage so quickly and into just how to play. Here we go, deciding game, round 3. Here we go. Nice, good evasion, good dodging, both teams there. As I said, we expect to see as the games go on, the scorelines start to drop as the teams get better at evasion, dodging and shield use. Really, really good opening from Team Flora. Good focused fire. Now, unfortunately, Reds have started to clump together. Something that we see quite a lot of the early teams do. It's quite, especially coming into heavy fire, you can get used to basically teams will start to merge together. It's for defence, just you're seeing there really badly there from Shirton Dynasty. What happens is it means that all the incoming fire can just concentrate straight on your position. So if they don't hit you, they hit one of your teammates. More and more of their shots are likely to hit. So the more you clump together, the easier you're making it for the opposing team. And Shirton Dynasty are doing it again and again here, moving to close proximity and just drawing the full focus fire down on them. Flora, taking full advantage of it as they should, and building up an impressive points lead here. But great work from Team Flora and Shirton Dynasty. Unfortunate, real tactical error in their positioning on the pitch there. Opened themselves up for that, and Flora took full advantage of it. So great, 16 points to 7 win for Team Flora in game 3, taking the match for Team Flora. So Shirton Dynasty are going to be maintaining on red, moving to 2.5 Lewises coming in on blue for the next game round. So Shirton Dynasty on red versus 2.5 Lewises on blue. Okay, guys. So just flick away from the court there for a minute while the guys are getting prepped up. So obviously, all of this we're doing is for children in need, and today we are running the whole broadcast from the Blue Room at the O2, which is an incredible venue. To get the chance to use, which is thanks to obviously our partners from VMO2 and Ericsson we were working with, who are giving us this capacity to be here in this space. And what we're doing from here is we're sending this whole thing out over 5G, which is really cool, actually, to be able to basically run a whole live stream broadcast of a tournament over 5G. We've got our own funky little box that's about the size of a slightly smaller actually than an undercounter fridge, and it's an entire basically 5G mast. It's quite amazing. So we've got our own signal, our own mast, complete private network. Getting spoiled and everything. If they open the bar, it would be even better, but I just got to sit here and look at it at the moment, which is slightly, a bit of a tease. But right, we're getting our teams up and ready now. So Shirton Dynasty on red, 2.5 Lewis's on blue. So Shirton Dynasty we saw in that last set of games there, really starting to pick the firepower up, good shielding, good aggression, but suffering from that tactical error of clumping close together and really drawing the opposing team's firepower down onto them, making it much easier for the opposition to rack up the points. Now 2.5 Lewis's are fairly aggressive, or what we've seen so far, are pretty aggressive on the firepower. They're happy to move up onto the centre line, they're quite good on the shielding, so this is going to be an interesting game. So we've seen this nice big improvement from Shirton Dynasty over the training games. Let's see if they can keep it up now. Here we go. Game on. Good team, a lot of really good team communication going on there from 2.5 Lewis on the blue team. Early lead from them as well. Great shield positioning, really messing up the incoming fire from Shirton Dynasty. Red's just really not able to get that focus fire in. Just a bit of movement on the front line as well by the blue players. Especially in the early days where your opponents are still sort of find their feet in the sport, you don't necessarily have to move a huge amount to make yourself difficult to hit. Obviously, that as we go game on game, that's going to shift around. People start to be able to predict positions better. Shirton Dynasty fighting back though. They've got a big old hill to climb here. 7-point difference, 8-point difference now. Really good shielding again there coming in from the blue team. Red's just got to get those shields down so much faster when they come in. Reds again, though, getting pulled into the trap that they got pulled into last match. They start to clump together again, making themselves really easy for their opponents to rack the points up. Fortunately, once you put it on the back foot, it becomes tempting to move together for defence, and it just makes you easier to hit. So great play across there. Red player 2 doing everything he could there to fight back. 8 points scored. But really good score and across the board for all three of the blue players. They've got no obvious weak link at all from those stats. Nice play there from them. So Red Shirton Dynasty have just got to stop moving together on the court. They've got to spread themselves out. They've got to get more distance. Otherwise, their opponents are going to keep on being able to land shots like that on them. And obviously, that's going to continue to be detrimental for them as they go forwards. So moving into getting prepped up to go into game 2 here. Game 2 of the match 2. Match 2? Match 3? 4? Somewhere down there. We've had some matches. This is definitely one of them. So Shirton Dynasty versus 2.5 Lewis. So Shirton Dynasty on red and 2.5 Lewis on the blue. Obviously really dominating win there for blue team in the first round. Here we go. Game 2. Nice work for Shirt and Dynasty. First points on the board there. Can they manage to put the blue team on the back foot here? Can they get some early momentum going? Blue's already starting to fight back though. Red's really needed to capitalise on that sort of early surprise from that first point. Again, really good shield positioning in the centres there from Blue, messing up the crossfire from Reds. Red's just not capable of getting those shields down fast enough. When those shields come up, you just have to turn and focus fire them. They're only taking like 3 shots to get rid of. All 3, just put 1 shot in, the shield's gone. But it's a training discipline, it's a tactical understanding that you need to do that. Good work from Reds here, actually holding Blues within reachable distance. Just 2 points in it here, 25 seconds remaining. 1 point in it. Back to 2. Much more aggressive play from Reds. And you can see here they're not clumping together. So they've evaded that error from the last couple of games. They've opened up the positioning. It's making it much harder for the blue team to land those points. Still looking like it's probably going to be a blue team win, but nowhere near as dominating. Great, got to hand in really good centre line shielding there from Blues, holding off the red team there, utterly denying them any chance at that fight back. That very good use of shields. So for a young and inexperienced team, the guys on 2.5 Lewis really performing well on the shield play there. So 2.5 Lewis are going to be maintaining on the pitch on Blue, and Senior Citizens, who are our other high firepower team, are moving in on Red. So both teams at this point are undefeated. So this is likely to be the match that actually decides the outcome of the first pool round. And get off that video again, just get a bit loud. Teams now getting prepped. These are our 2 high firepower teams. These are our most aggressive teams we've seen so far in the early training and early games. And I expect that in reality, the basically winning position of the first round of the pool is going to be decided by this particular matchup. But it is only round 1, so we're going to run the pools of round 1, and then we're going to move to round 2, run the second full round, and we're expecting there to really see some shifts in the outcomes, because those teams are going to have picked up more and more skill, more ability as they move through this full first round. We should see a lot more aggressive and capable play from them. So hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. And, while we're waiting to get ready, go to Children in Need and donate some money. Okay, teams just getting prepped for the first game in their sequence. Just get themselves logged into play. So for those not seen HADO before, what you're seeing here is exactly what the players see. Obviously we're seeing it from a third-person viewpoint, but you're seeing exactly what the players see. They're still seeing the real world, seeing everything else around them completely as normal, but now the graphics merge into reality with them. Here we go. Good opening salvo there from Blue. 2 points apiece, 10 seconds played. Nice even gameplay so far. Said that these 2 teams have definitely been our highest firepower, most aggressive, most mobile. I think they seem to be very evenly matched. Blues a very slight edge. Reds answering almost straight away. They're back to 5 points all. Approaching the halfway mark, and there's really nothing between these 2 teams at all. Great play. 40 seconds played now. Just 1 point down for Blue. Good shield work, both teams. Really limiting their opposing team's capacity to score. 10 points apiece, absolutely neck and neck. This one's going to go right down to the wire. Now we quite regularly see a sprint point in the last sort of like 6 to 8 seconds kicking in from teams here as they realise how close they've got and they up the tempo. 13 points each, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Blues take it, 14 to 13. Dying seconds of the game. Okay, but remember this is only game one. It's only game one. Great support from Pudsey there, coming in for the red team there, going a little bit of consolation after the that loss in game one, but so close. It's clear. It's clearly there where we've not got a decider between the teams at all. So I think obviously game two of this is going to be quite exciting to watch. So all the teams there just getting themselves prepped and ready. So again, this is Senior Citizens and 2.5 Lewis. 2.5 Lewis just taken game one. Both teams so far, although they've dropped, neither team yet has lost a match. So the 2.5 Lewis take this one. They're going to take the match here. Senior Citizens have got to win the next 2 games in a row to pull this back. By the looks of it, the winning team here is the one who's going to take round one of the pool games. So teams just getting themselves prepped and ready. Here we go. Game on. One point apiece. Good shielding, good movement from both teams. Really nice play. Red's just starting to edge ahead a little bit here. Can 2.5 Lewis on blue shut that down, or are Senior Citizens on red going to actually start getting some momentum going here? No, they've been caught already. 5 points apiece. At 6-5 now. Blues edging ahead by a point as we hit the halfway mark. Absolutely neck and neck between these two teams. Blues just with a slight advantage. Can they get any momentum going here and get some space between themselves and Reds? 30 seconds, 3-point lead, 4-point lead now. Starting to build up some momentum. Reds seriously got the work come out for him here. Got to close that gap down. Starting to do it, down to 2-point. Still holding at the 2-point. 15 seconds. Can they close it anymore? Still 2 points in it. Blue starting to open that gap up again. 5 seconds. 2 and 1. 15-12. 2.5 Lewis take game 2 in the match. That is 3 match wins to 2.5 Lewis. So 2.5 Lewis are going to be our round 1 champions. Doesn't mean they're going to be the round 2 champions or the overall winners though. So still plenty to play for at this stage. But definitely 2.5 Lewis currently our standout team to watch. But Senior Citizens, very capable team. So Senior Citizens are going to be staying on pitch on red, and we have Flora stepping in on blue. And this will be the last game of round 1, or last matchup of round 1. We'll be then moving right through and into round 2. From there through to our finals, and then the bot challenge. So if anyone's joining the stream now or later or whatever, or chipping in at this point, today we are at the O2 in London, courtesy of obviously of VMO2, for letting us use this amazing space, and we're actually in the Blue Room, which is like it's like the VIP entrance bar area, just to the side of the main arena, which is very cool. And our connectivity and be able to broadcast to you live and everything else from here is courtesy of Ericsson, giving us a very funky little. And it is really quite little, basically 5G tower in a box, which we get to take around with us and broadcast HADO matches on. And all this, of course, is being done for the amazing BBC Children in Need. So make sure you go and donate to Children in Need. Go send them your money, because it's Children in Need, and they do lots of good stuff with it, and you should. So our premium's being prepped up now. This is our final match of round 1. So, Senior Citizens on red, who we know are a very aggressive team, good firepower. They played a stunning 2 games there against 2.5 Lewis's, and there was very, very little between them. 2.5 Lewis's just edging it in the previous matchup. But Senior Citizens, they're a very aggressive, very dangerous team. Flora, a little bit timid in their early games, but they've definitely, as we watched them already, they've been moving through this. They're becoming more aggressive, more capable. Dodging's getting better. So let's see how they measure up now. I think start of this round, I'd have called this for Senior Citizens before it began. Not quite so sure now. As you said, Flora definitely have been picking up in evasion, shield use, accuracy as we've gone through the games here. Coach Ash just sorting out slight issue for one of the players on Team Flora there. So, if you're following our sort of loop around the UK, which hopefully you are, today is our second tournament. Our first tournament was in Barnsley. Please go and watch the live feed from that if you've not done so. Obviously not right now because you're watching this. But after you watch this, go check that out afterwards. We're then moving on tomorrow to Queen Mary's College in Basingstoke. And then on Friday we'll be at Belfast Met in Northern Ireland. Then moving on from there to Bangor University in North Wales. Specifically for North Wales, if you want to get involved in any way, contact us. Here we go. Game on. So, Senior Citizens on red versus Flora on blue. $10 played. 2-point lead there for Reds. Said expected Reds to be the more aggressive team here, but Flora have definitely been picking up an ability game on game as we've gone through these matches. 6-point lead for Red. Flora have got to start upping that firepower now and pushing ahead. 8-point lead. 9-point lead. Flora have just got to up the firepower. Much better communication as well coming through from the red team. Good constant calls, constant communication. Focusing a fire on whoever on blue teams start to have their markers chipped away. Blues with a huge amount to climb here on points and 15 seconds on the clock. Fantastic play from Senior Citizens. Good shielding, good dodging. Really good focus fire and fantastic team communication. Blues real lack of team communication there, quite frankly. There was a bit going, but nothing in comparison to their opponents. Shields need to be dropped out more effectively and just a lot more firepower. Those red shields were allowed to stay up for way too long. Giving far too much protection, way too much cover for the teams. I mean, one of the tell factors there is just looking at the fire rates. They may not look that different, but 10 shots difference between most of the players there in terms of number of shots just put out across the pitch. Now, if the other team are putting out 30 more shots than you are, and a given player's only putting out about 40 across an entire tournament, across an entire game. That Pudsey has left the building, if you're putting out 40 shots and the other team are putting out between them 30 more shots than your team are, that's a really big difference in that level of fire. So Blues have just got to pick up that fire rate. Here we go, game on, game 2. Final match of round 1. Again, good communication, good points on the board there early on there from Reds. There's that layering of shields coming up from Reds, and Blue's just not taking them down fast enough. A lot of Blue shots actually going high of the targets as well. Blue's got to pick up that accuracy. But it's closer. Blues are definitely starting to pick up the fire rate a little, but I think it might be too little too late at this stage. 15 seconds remaining, 6-point variance. 5-point variance. Can they close that anymore? Yeah. Blues, unfortunately, are still playing this pretty much the 1v1 game, and Reds are focusing as a 3v1. So all three Reds there constantly picking the same target to go after, and just working their way down the line time after time. So when you've got three sets of firepower coming in against you, very difficult. And Red player 3, they're absolutely dominating. 12 knockouts, 39% accuracy. Really, really good gameplay there from Red player 3. So that is end of round 1. So end of round 1 of gameplay, and that's 2.5 Lewis's taking first place, undefeated on matches. Senior Citizens in second, Flora in third, and Shirton Dynasty in fourth at the end of round 1. Obviously, we're going to be rolling this round for a second round, so those positions could very well change round. But currently, our round 1 winners, they're 2.5 Lewis. Let's see if someone can rise to challenge them in round 2. So we're going to be, I believe, maintaining the same play order going into round 2. Team's just getting a moment to get some liquid, have a quick breather before we roll them back in. But I believe we're maintaining the same team order for round 2.
Correct, yes, exactly the same. Just so you're aware, the Senior Citizens have had a back-to-back. They are on again, so they would have 3 sets back-to-back. So I'm giving them a minute.
That seems very fair. We're going to give them just a minute, get the breath back.
And we'll get started all over again.
Start it all over again. Excellent. They're young, they've got energy, it's fine. So, while our teams are recovering there, once again, go to Children in Need, give them some money, they're awesome. They'll do great things with it. And as ever, thanks to VMO2 and Ericsson for the amazing venue and tech and support that we've got as we're running around the country with this tour. So, summarise again, this is round 2. Round 1 was up at Barnsley College last week. Round 3 is tomorrow at Queen Mary's College in Basingstoke. Round 4 is at Belfast Met on Friday. Round 5 is at Bangor University on Monday the 16th. Round 6 is then at HADO Arena Coventry on Tuesday the 17th. Round 7 is going to be at Hearts Football Club up in Edinburgh on the 24th. And then we're going to be with 25th. We're going to be up at Newcastle United at their Sports Foundation at Newcastle on the 26th for the final of the 8 matches. The reason for the gap in the middle is because there's the HADO World Cup, and we're running away to go to that in Tokyo. So England are currently the reigning European champions, and so who knows, by the time we get to these final set broadcasts, we could be world champions, or could have gone horribly, horribly wrong in a very standard British way in a major tournament. Who knows? But it's going to be fun following to see how it all goes. So our team's getting set and ready to come in now for round 2. So obviously we saw a lot of improvement as we're going through that round 1. Great play from 2.5 Lewis's and Senior Citizens. Obviously those two teams were really, really close through round 1. Very, very little between them. 2.5 Lewis is taking it overall though to become round 1 champions. Senior Citizens absolutely on their tail though. No two ways about that. Flora and Shirton Dynasty, both a bit lower on their firepower. Shirton Dynasty having this bad habit of clumping together and making themselves much easier for the opposing teams to earn points from. So hopefully they've realised that, and they're going to have learned from that as we move into round 2 here. Encore bands are happening now as we're getting prepped and ready. But yeah, hopefully they're going to learn from that as we move to round 2. We're going to see less clumping together from them, more varied play across the pitch. I hope they're making it much harder for their opponents to earn points from them. So here we go. Getting ready for game 1 of round 2. So this is the Senior Citizens on red versus the Shirton Dynasty on blue. Teams just getting themselves logged in, prepped and ready to go. Yeah, blue team's experimenting with friendly fire. It doesn't work. You can't shoot your own team. It's just not how this works. Here we go. Players are ready. Here we go. Game 1, round 2. Let's see if these teams can take everything they've learned from round 1 and put it into practice here. Great opening play there from Senior Citizens. Good shields, good accurate shots. Got themselves a significant lead there over Shirton Dynasty. Shirton Dynasty are going to have to massively up their game here if they're going to close that gap. Better movement from them though than we saw in round 1, and still some clumping going, but not as bad as it was in the first round of matches. Got to spread themselves out across the pitch though. The more you box together like that, the easier it is for the other teams to just focus fire on you and take that. And earn points. It's layered shield walls that Senior Citizens keep dropping in are proving to be so effective here in this matchup. Now both teams have got identical capabilities, so there's nothing that's stopping any of the teams copying or using the tactics being used by their opponents here. Again, really strong play here from Senior Citizens. Shirton Dynasty, 5 seconds on the clock, no way they're closing this gap. But they've got to learn from these games. They've got to get their shields down faster, and they've got to stop moving together. Constantly moving together as the way they do when the fire comes in just makes them so much easier to hit. And yeah, Red's dominating the MVP categories there. 50 short shots fired. It's all right. We're expecting sort of like mid 50s is pretty good. That's what we're looking for here. Okay, we're going to get ready to cycle the teams in again. So, teams are going to roll in for the second round now. Here, so this is game 2 of match 1 of round 2. It's a lot of numbers to remember. Less important on your behalf, more on mine. So we've got Senior Citizens there on red, Shirton Dynasty on blue. It was a clean win for Senior Citizens against Shirton Dynasty in the round 1 matchup. And obviously they're coming in really strong here into this round 2 matchup as well. Now, not taking anything away from Senior Citizens, they are a good team. They're playing really well, but Shirton Dynasty are currently making it easier for their opponents than they necessarily need to. So Shirton Dynasty got to move apart from each other, and we've got to get the opposing shield down faster. So let's see if they've listened to any of the pointers they've been given by our coaches during that break point. Again, great shields up there from Senior Citizens. 3 points on the board straight away. There we go. Really good communication from Reds. Cracking shot there, just around the edge of the shield. So shields are two-dimensional. If you can move yourself forward, get the angle right, you can actually drop shots in behind them. Again, another nice shield in the centre there. Much closer scoreline this time around. Coming up at the halfway mark. Only 2 points in it now. Much, much better play from Shirton Dynasty. I said, not taking anything away from Senior Citizens, but Shirton Dynasty were making it too easy to have points earned from them on that first round. So 20 seconds remaining here, and just 3 points in it. So unlike round one, which was a real clear domination from Senior Citizens, Shirton Dynasty still behind, but they're actually staying within a catchable point. After these last few seconds, where that's it, Senior Citizens putting the gas down, putting the pedal down, and that's it, moving away there. Great finish from them. Red player 2 absolutely dominating, 11 KOs, and only being taken down once themselves. So that's a KD ratio of 10 there for red player 2. That's just quite amazing. They are very, very clear. Anyone who's coming up against them from here on out, red 2 there needs to be the focus. You've got to keep them locked out of play. If they're able to hit that often, that accurately, and rack that many points up, you cannot allow that player to stay in game. Not if you want a chance of winning. Okay, so we're just changing our teams around now. So coming in to match 2 of the second round. So this is 2.5 Lewis, our round 1 winners, facing against Flora, who are our round 1, the third place team. So again, 2.5 Lewis, really good movement, great aggression, really good firepower in terms of what we've seen from round 1. Flora definitely been improving game on game. Let's see if it's been enough to really close that gap and get themselves in. So, bit of coaching going on the side of the pitch there from Coach Ash to Team Flora, just to try and give them a few more pointers, a few more things to think about, as ways to really keep themselves in the game. And while we're waiting for that, as ever, when we get a break point, I'll remind you, characters some money to children in need. All right, give them some money; they're awesome. And obviously follow this whole set of matches as we go. We've got six more dates on the tournament schedule to go before we hit the finals, which will be on the 10th of November on the main Game to Give show with the BBC on BBC Three, iPlayer, and on TikTok simultaneously. Okay, just waiting for our teams to cycle back in. Here we go. So. This is 2.5 Lewis on red versus Flora on blue. Teams just get themselves logged in and ready. Okay, teams just finishing the logins now. Get themselves prepped and ready to go. Okay, it's all teams in and ready. Quick tactical discussion from 2.5 Lewis on red there. So, what we've seen so far, 2.5 Lewis and Senior Citizens definitely our most aggressive teams. They're also best movement and best communication. It's not just about accuracy. Team communication, teamwork, really focusing your fire as you go. Good work from Flora though. Fantastic early work from Team Flora. Given the disparity we saw between these teams in round 1, that early play from Team Flora was spot on. Now they've just got to keep that going, try and close that gap up. Can't let 2.5 Lewis get any real momentum going here. I mean, obviously a 5-point lead, there's already a problem, but we've got to try and pull this back now. 6 point lead, 30 seconds remaining. 5 points for now. Flora have got to close up on. The whole Red's even holding still in the centre while they were charging up shields, and Flora not managed to take advantage of it. Flora have got to start spotting these opportunities. If they're going to hold position just centrally like that, you should be popping the shots into them. Not trying to focus on the guys dodging on the side, but focusing your shots on the two that are stationary in the middle. So really, really good play from 2.5 Lewis there, showing why they were our round 1 champions. Yeah, red player 1. Wow. Clean sweep, all 5 MVP categories. Yeah. But I mean, it's not bad stats all round. The accuracy is just down on Team Flora. They're like, 15 to 20% down on their opponents in terms of accuracy. Just got to try and get those shots on target. So, good play for Team Flora. Much stronger showing than I think we'd have seen from them in round 1. But at the moment, 2.5 Lewis is just proving too strong for them in that first game. Hopefully, they'll have got some real good confidence off that first run, and we'll see a lot more aggressive play as we go into round 2 or game 2 here. Okay, here we go. Game 2. Let's see what Flora can do here. Can they fight their way back against the seemingly unstoppable 2.5 Lewis? Good shields from both teams there. Really inhibiting early play. 1 point apiece on the board. 10 seconds played. Blues with a single point lead. 2 points apiece again. Staying neck and neck. Now we got this stage last game, and then Reds start to really open up some air between the two teams and get the momentum going. Flora cannot allow it to happen again. Flora have got to start their fight back now. Cannot allow that momentum from 2.5 Lewis to continue. 40 seconds played, halfway mark. 7 points in it now. 8 points. Points starting to land now from Team Flora. We're hugely up this. We need more shields, need more shots. Just more of everything from Team Flora. Now, you see the front player there from Team Flora was getting caught up on trying to raise a shield. That's why her arm was down low. Unfortunately, shields are great, but only really if you're winning. Otherwise, he's focused on firing because shields don't earn you points. And there's a lot of time there lost trying to raise shields rather than firing. So 23 points to 6. Dominating win there from 2.5 Lewis. So Team Flora are staying on the pitch. And Red Team 2.5 Lewis are stepping down. And Shirton Dynasty are going to be stepping in against Team Flora. So, in round 1, Flora defeated Shirton Dynasty. Let's see how we go. So, Shirton Dynasty, we've got this constant issue of clumping together, making themselves easy to hit, not getting rid of shields fast enough. Flora's having to take advantage of that in that first round meet. Let's see whether it's going to go the same way. And we're going to get Flora again. Managed to take advantage of that, or the Shirton Dynasty are finally going to have got the message about spreading out. It's pretty straightforward. If you're all clumped into one place, then all the shots are going to come into one place, and you're all going to get hit. It's much easier. If you spread out across the pitch, you've got to be engaged individually. Therefore, there's less firepower, less fire coming on you individually as a player. You've got more space around you to move and evade. It becomes much easier to not get hit. But when your back's against the wall, there's lots of fire coming in. It's so easy at that point to move together. It's always instinctive to come together, try and defend yourselves. And the guys just need to spread themselves out and try and fight that instinct. So let's see how we go. Teams just get themselves prepped and ready now. So if HADO looks like something you want to get involved with, which hopefully it does, there are HADO locations around the UK you can go and visit. We've got our main tournament centre, which is in Coventry. It's a full dedicated HADO sports centre. There's also another location on South Edge of Birmingham. There is a great dedicated HADO location down in Brighton, which has got some phenomenal coaches and the current top-ranked teams in the UK that play from there. We've also got a location with Barnsley College, which is where we held our first broadcast from in this series of tournaments. So if you're in the Barnsley area, want to contact the college, talk about how you can get involved there. It's also caught at the Newcastle United Foundation, which is where we're going to be having our 8th and final regional tournament from towards the end of October, on the 26th of October. So obviously keep following the tournament sequence till we get to there. Make sure you click subscribe so you get told when we're going live and everything else as we go through this sequence. Yeah, it should be really, really good as we go. The other locations at the moment, the RAF actually have their own arena as part of the RAF Esports, and that's available to move base to base around the UK for RAF personnel to use to train on. And we also then have got a new partner coming on board, which is fantastic news, who's just about to start in the London area. And as we go forward from here, hopefully more and more locations where you'll be able to access and play the sport. Obviously, if you want to know more, want to get involved in any way, drop us an email, info@ukhado.com, or click on any of the UK HADO socials, and we'll be happy to tell you the best way to come and get involved with the sport, start training, start competing, and get into out all the way to international play. We are the reigning European champions after all. Who better to learn from? Here we go, game on. So it's Shirton Dynasty on red versus Flora on blue. Nice shielding and open play from both sides. First points on the board for Shirton Dynasty. Good momentum there from red team. Really starting to push up. Shirton Dynasty much more spread out now than we've seen in their other games. Making it harder and harder for Flora to land those points, which is really good. Obviously not from Flora's perspective, it's terrible from Flora's perspective. Good from Shirton Dynasty though, that they're starting to realise that flaw and error in their tactics and start to account for it. 30 seconds remaining. 5-point lead here to Shirton Dynasty. We said in the round 1 meetup, Flora defeated Shirton Dynasty. It's like teams have definitely gained experience and ability as we move forward here. And Shirton Dynasty are going to take game 1 here without any real difficulty. I mean, good fight back from Flora, but just again, as we've seen in a lot of their early games, there's just not enough firepower. Firepower rates from Team Flora are just too low. 16 points to 8 to red team there. Good play. Moving distance only 30 metres as the MVP. So both teams really, really stationary. Fire rates weren't too bad, but accuracy so far down there. Only a 10% accuracy there for player 6 on blue. So definitely got to get Florin into to up everything out, up the movement, up the firepower, up the accuracy, really. So when you're firing, while you're playing HADO, you can see it throwing the hands out. Now, throwing the hand out activates the control, but it doesn't aim it. So the shot goes where they're looking. So each player has got it's like a heads-up display on reality. So they've got time, scores, and everything else at the top of the view. They've got energy and other information at the base. And in the middle, they've got a crosshairs, and that's how they're aiming. So depending, the direction you look at your head is controlling where that shot is going, how it's aimed out, to try and hit those targets. That's why you see some of the players putting a hand on the headset just to really lock and stabilise the firing position. So, we've had some more. Blue team have had some more pointers from Coach Ash. Let's see if they can put anything into practice here. Good triple shield there to take off to stop the initial attack from red team, but red's first points on the board. Blue's archery back early. Good. Now we've just got to keep this going. Communication picking up really well from both teams now. Very, very good. Control. Yep, great communication. You can immediately see the shift in the match, just that bit of talking to each other, and how much it shifted up the gameplay here. Team Flora with a 3-point lead now as we approach the halfway mark. Shirton Dynasty fighting back well. Good shield there from Team Flora, stopping that counter-attack there on their left flank. 3-point lead now being maintained by Team Flora. Very, very good play. Great communication. 20 seconds left. So close. It's just a single point in it. 10 seconds remaining. 2 points now. 3 points. Can Team Flora keep this gap between them and Shirton Dynasty? 2, 1, and game 2 goes to Team Flora. 16 points to 12. That was like watching completely different team play. That was amazing. That increase in accuracy, in competency, and firepower, just from up in their communication. So thankfully they listened to the advice of Team Ash. They started talking to each other properly, and that sudden and that instant jump in ability just from communicating properly. Right, so that was that's now 1 game apiece in this matchup. So we're going to a 3rd game decider between these teams. So Flora and Shirton Dynasty were the 2 lower ranked teams in round 1. So both teams there really clearly starting to address the weaknesses that were holding them back in round 1. Shirton Dynasty said with this moving together makes those easier targets to hit. Flora just too quiet, not communicating, and both teams there very, very clearly addressed those tactical problems. Massive increase in communication from Team Flora. Team Shirton Dynasty much more spread out across the pitch. Fantastic games. Here we go. Let's see what difference it's going to make moving into the 3rd and final game of this match. Great opening shield wall again from Flora, just to limit the opening volley from Shirton Dynasty. 10 seconds played, 0-0. One point apiece now. Shirton Dynasty just starting to edge now. Can Flora pull this back, stop them gaining that momentum? Flora really need to get those next point or 2 on the board. Just hot, that's it. Got to keep Shirton Dynasty within reaching point at all times. Now, the other team are your points, so there are always 3 points available on the pitch. So unless you've got a 4-point lead, you haven't really got a lead at all. So if you can keep your opponents within 3 points, it's all good. Neck and neck now. Red's just starting to edge ahead now. 3-point lead here. 20 seconds remaining. 2-point lead for Reds. Great play from both sides here. Good communication, good movement across the pitch. 10 seconds remaining. Red's starting to edge now. 2-point lead. 5 seconds. Great shield on the centre there. That shield itself may have just won them the game. Yes, it did. Beautiful centre point shield there. Great timing on that raise. Without any doubt at all, that shield won them the match, the game, and the match. It was a whole volley of fire that came and would have taken both those centre 2 players out without it. Perfectly timed and positioned shield there. Right, so our next game up then is Shirton Dynasty are staying on red, and 2.5 Lewis are coming in on blue. So 2.5 Lewis still our undefeated team so far. I think they've dropped a game, but they've won every match to date. So clearly a tough game here for Shirton Dynasty. But Shirton Dynasty, we've seen there, their spread across the pitch is improving, their evasion's improving, shield positioning and timing hugely improved, communication is up. Yeah, let's see if they can put it into play against 2.5 Lewis. 2.5 Lewis have been doing those things throughout, which is why they've been doing so well. But let's see how much, now that Shirton Dynasty are actually starting to bring these things into play themselves, how much of a leveler that is. as we start going to these early games. Now, this is match 4 of round 2. So we have two more matches to come after this, which will be Senior Citizens versus 2.5 Lewis, which is likely again to be our decider match for round 2, and then Senior Citizens versus Flora to finish off at the end of round 2. We're then going to select our 2 best teams from these 2 rounds, and they're then going to face off against each other in a grand final, and then we'll move through to the AI challenge. Once we have our London O2 HADO champions, and so we can rank them, be able to put them into our national ranking system to see how they measure up against the other regional winners, to get us through to be able to choose our 2 top teams in ready for the main BBC show in November. Okay, so teams just get themselves prepped and ready before we start the match off. So, on performance to date, you'd expect this to be a 2.5 Lewis game, but instead Shirton Dynasty have clearly and visibly been improving game on game. Opened up the positioning, got the shielding vastly improved, and communication significantly improved as well. First points on the board though to 2.5 Lewis. 10 seconds played. 2 points to nothing currently. Reds really need to get that first point on the board and get themselves moving. 3 points to nothing. 4 to nothing. 20 seconds played. Shirton Dynasty getting fixated on shields. Shields are useful, but they are really not your be-all and end-all. And if you're losing all that time while trying to prep and get your shield into place rather than firing, you should have just been firing. Halfway mark now. 2 point difference. Really good play here from Shirton Dynasty. Managed to hold 2.5 Lewis within catching distance constantly here. 30 seconds remaining. 1 point in it. Could this be the turning point for Shirton Dynasty? 2 points. 20 seconds remaining. 2.5 Lewis starting to open that gap now. Shirton Dynasty really got the work cut out for them. They were in close proximity score-wise for so long there. 2.5 Lewis just really stand on the gas there in the last sort of like 5-10 seconds, opening that up. Really, really great play. All excellent play there from 2.5 Lewis. As I said, most of that match though, way closer than we've seen previously between these two teams. 2.5 Lewis are improving, but the rate of improvements to Shirton Dynasty is much faster. That was a match I could believe that Shirton Dynasty could actually have won. Whereas obviously for their first meetups, it was absolutely dominated by 2.5 Lewis. This time round, absolutely Shirton Dynasty could have taken that game. So teams now getting ready to go into game 2 of this match. And as I said, this is our 4th match in the sequence. And teams just get themselves prepped and ready. So let's get those back on court. Here we go. Great opening shield position there from Shirton Dynasty. But 2.5 Lewis still managing to rack those initial points in. Good work so far though. 20 seconds played. 2.5 Lewis starting to rack the points in now though. Shirton Dynasty opening was really good, really strong. But they're starting to fall apart now in this second quarter of the game. Halfway mark now, 5 points in it. Shirton Dynasty have got a massive amount of work to do here. Got to absolutely focus on the firepower, get rid of those shields, just keep those shots going in. We cannot afford 2.5 Lewis to keep landing points like that. $15 seconds remaining. Significant lead there for 2.5 Lewis. 5 seconds. And that is matched to 2.5 Lewis, 17 points to 8. So it's another match win to 2.5 Lewis. Excellent play from them throughout and here. So that is the final match there for Shirton Dynasty. That is Shirton Dynasty's final match in this tournament. As obviously they're not going to be in either our two top ranked teams from our rounds there. So Senior Citizens versus 2.5 Lewis. This was an incredibly close game in round one. And I think again this is going to be our deciding match for the round two. So this is game 5 in the second round. And teams just getting themselves kitted, prepped, and ready to go. So we know both these teams have great communication, accuracy, shield positioning, and timing. Yeah, and they've both clearly jumped in ability since their round one matchup as well. So this should be a very, very close game. So teams getting themselves logged and ready to go. Here we go. Red team just finishing their login and prep. Went for a final red player to get themselves logged and join the match. Coach Ash just stepping in to resolve whatever the issue is. So, Senior Citizens on red, 2.5 Lewis on blue. So this was round one. This was the deciding match for the pool. It looks like it's going to be again for round two. So definitely our two standout teams for the tournament so far. Two points apiece, 20 seconds played. Great play both sides. Good communication, good positioning, good shields. Point for point, either way now, just jump in position around each other. So close here. Coming up on the halfway mark now, single point lead to Senior Citizens. Nothing really between these teams. A little bit of momentum now for Senior Citizens. Can they keep this going? They've got themselves a bit of breathing space. 4 points or more is what you need to have any kind of sense of confidence. So 5 point lead here. Fantastic play from Senior Citizens. Absolutely got 2.5 Lewis on the rope here. 15 seconds remaining. 5 point difference. Last 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 8 point lead. Amazing play from Senior Citizens. Great finish. So these matches were absolutely neck and neck in round one. Huge win there for Senior Citizens over 2.5 Lewis. See if 2.5 Lewis got a reply to that in game 2 in this round. Great play from there. So if Senior Citizens can take this game, they are undoubtedly going to end up taking Pool 2. They do have one more match to go after this against Team Flora, but on balance, what we've seen so far, Senior Citizens are the stronger team, so that is much more likely to go in their favour. Obviously, nothing can be guaranteed, especially with the way that HADO works. This jumping ability we're seeing game on game, and the fast-paced element of it, there's always a chance it could flip. But our expectation is going to be that Senior Citizens are likely to beat Team Flora in the final matchup. So this is it. If Senior Citizens can take this next game, they will be the round 2 winners. Teams getting themselves prepped and ready. So 2.5 Lewis's need to win this game and the third round decider if they're going to be victorious in round 2. Good opening play there from 2.5 Lewis. Got themselves a small early lead. Let's see if they can actually get some proper distance between themselves and Senior Citizens. 4-point lead. They've hit that 4-point factor now. Senior Citizens now with a lot of work to do to close that gap. Attaining that 4-point lead point is really critical. That's when you're starting to get a proper bit of air between you and the other team. Senior Citizens fighting back fantastically though. Just past the halfway mark, 3 points in it now. Two points in it, 30 seconds. Still anybody's matchup, this one. Great shield wall across the back there from Senior Citizens. Really preventing 2.5 Lewis from getting any momentum, and they've pulled it back. 1 point lead now for Senior Citizens, 15 seconds remaining. 11 points apiece, 10 seconds. Just point for point, tit for tat as we go. 5 seconds. Absolutely anybody's game here. And we're going to overtime. So, 10 seconds to get your breath back, and then first knockout, any player takes the match. So our Senior Citizens are possibly 1 point away from winning this pool. Great shields from both sides there. Oh, beautiful play from 2.5 Lewis. Single point score there in overtime. So that is 1 game apiece. 1 game apiece. We are going to a third game decider here. Fantastic play there. That was a fantastic match. That early momentum gain there from 2.5 Lewis. Great fight back from Senior Citizens. Absolutely down to the wire on the points. And then a great overtime decider there from 2.5 Lewis. So that is now 1 game apiece in this match sequence, going through to a third round decider. So teams just get themselves prepped and ready to go. So absolutely everything to play for here. This next game is going to decide basically the winning team for round 2. So we are 80 seconds away from finding our round 2 winners. Unless, of course, Senior Citizens win this and then go on for their final match, having been exhausted by 2.5 Lewis, and get defeated by Flora, in which case we're going to do a whole load of complicated maths for who wins. But you know, them's the breaks. Happens sometimes. Let's go back to courtside. Here we go. Game 3. HADO fight. First points on the board there for 2.5 Lewis. Good motion, good evasion, great centerline shield wall there for 2.5 Lewis. Senior Citizens have allowed those shields there way too long there on the centre line. 3-0 lead at this stage. Senior Citizens on the board and they've pulled it straight back, 3 points all. So what we said 4 points is until you got 4 points difference, you've got nothing at all, because it's flipping an instant like that. 1 point variation there. 2 points. 40 seconds played. Just past the halfway mark now. Senior Citizens starting to edge ahead now. 4 point lead. They've got getting themselves a little bit of breathing space. Can 2.5 Lewis pull it back? 2 points in it now. Great shielding on those centre lines, really stopping that interrupted play. Fantastic shots from 2.5 Lewis, pulling it back to 9 points apiece. 20 seconds remaining. Yep. Coming in on 10 seconds remaining now. Just 1 point difference. 2 point difference, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Senior Citizens take it. Senior Citizens take their second round matchup against 2.5 Lewis. All right. We have one match to go. Senior Citizens versus Flora. Senior Citizens take this next match. They win round 2. Flora do it. They cause a significant upset and a whole lot of maths. So, let's see what we can get here. So this is our final match of round 2. Senior Citizens need to win this match to take the round. Flora need to win this match in order to cause chaos, which is often more fun than winning. So both teams here with a whole load to play for. As I said, both teams now really haven't ramped things up. Assuming this is a win for Senior Citizens, which probability-wise is where we predict it to be, then that's going to give us a Senior Citizens 2.5 Lewis final to finish this off, with 2.5 Lewis is having won round 1 and Senior Citizens, assuming they beat Flora, taking round 2. And we've seen just how close the match between these two teams are already. So, there's a lot of assumptions being made on the pitch right now. A huge amount of discussion about who goes where, what's going to happen with what. Right, so let's get this final match of the pool stages up and running, and discover the identity of our round 2 winning team. And then we'll be getting ourselves ready to move on to the final. So if you're tuning in late, why? But just bring you up to speed. We are currently at the O2 in London, at the Blue Room, which is an amazing venue for us to be working in, courtesy of our partners from Virgin Media and O2, and we're broadcasting to you live from here over our own private 5G connection, courtesy of Ericsson, and obviously a bit of O2, because you kind of need both to do that bit. All part of the HADO tournament for BBC Children in Need, which is all part of the Game to Give show. We're doing 8 regional tournaments. This is tournament 2. We've got 6 more to go as we move ourselves around the country before we get onto the final show on 10th of November with the BBC, and see how our finalists from these 8 regional tournaments match up against, so they know it, teams of celebrities who we're going to be training at some point between now and the 10th of November. So, here we go. Final match. Right, so can Team Flora throw a spanner in the work here and cause some real chaos? Or are Senior Citizens going to cement their victory of round 2? 1 point apiece at this stage. Definitely not a dominating opening salvo from Senior Citizens at all. 3 point lead now. 4 point lead. Senior Citizens really starting to move ahead now. Good shield work there. But not too bad, not too shabby from Flora, and getting rid of it though. And going in the point as it falls as well. Now if the salvos of shots go into shields, it's very likely the person behind them gets taken out when the shield drops. So you've got to keep a good count on the number of shield hits that come in, how roughly shield's going down, and you've got to get out of there before it drops. But 5 point lead now for Senior Citizens. I mean, Flora have been doing some good work, but Senior Citizens just managed to rack up the points too quickly. You know, centre point player on Senior Citizens on a single life marker, and he's just been allowed to stay in there for way too long. Flora got some really good communication going in their previous matches, but it seems to have broken down a little bit this time around. Good work, 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1. That is 15 points to 8 in favour of Senior Citizens. That's game 1 in this sequence, gone to Senior Citizens. Red player 3, 8 knockouts, 0 points scored against them. So clean sheet and the MVP there. Really, really good play. So red 3 there, absolutely dominating. And 100%, 60 shots fired as well. I think that's our highest we've seen possibly so far in the tournament. So really, really good play there from red 3, dominating that game. So Senior Citizens are now 80 seconds away from Pool 2 victory. So 80 seconds for Senior Citizens away from Pool 2 victory, and Flora got to take 2 games in order to, I said, throw proper monkey wrench in the workings here and cause some chaos. Some team discussions going on the court over there. But yeah, so the communications we start to see come from teams really good. The play really good. Game the way they're opening up in the game space as well. Just waiting for the players to get themselves all cycled in and ready to go. So that's all of the reds ready. Last the blues just getting briefed there. Team Ash on the front edge. Here we go. Game on. Nice quick opening shields. First points on the board there for Senior Citizens. Two-point lead now for Senior Citizens. Got to get that shield down. Blues have got to get that centre shield out. It's been up for way too long. Good work there from Flora, holding them to win the 3 points. Got to start to make advantage of that. Shield up on that right side. Got to be got rid of. But again, these red shields are just staying up for far too much time. A lot of Flora shots going low as well. Need to up their aim slightly. At the moment, Flora are more likely to hit if the opposing team duck into their shots, which is not what you want. You want to be getting them landing on target, but definitely way too many shots firing low. And now some firing straight over the heads of their opponents as well. 10 seconds remaining. Yeah, good shield positioning from both teams there, but the shield takedowns from Flora on Senior Citizens just too slow. Giving Senior Citizens way too many firing points. That's a 20-9 win for Senior Citizens, and Senior Citizens are our round 2 champions. So that is Senior Citizens winning there on round 2. So that is going to be our final matchup. It's going to be 2.5 Lewises plus versus Senior Citizens. So our final will be Senior Citizens versus 2.5 Lewis. So obviously, Senior Citizens just played a back-to-back there, so we're going to try and give them a few moments to get their breath back, get themselves functional before we roll them into the finals. Because obviously those matchups between Senior Citizens and 2.5 Lewis have been pretty intense so far. But our final to get our O2 champions for BBC Children in Need will be coming up in just a few moments. So. Again, if you're not aware of all the different things that are going on, we are doing all this as part of the BBC Children in Need Game to Give campaign. And there is ourselves, Just Dance, and the Simrigs that are moving around the country, doing lots of cool stuff. So Simrigs like us are bouncing around to different locations around the country. Just Dance can be entered directly off downloadable app on your phone. Which is all very cool, and all of our different events and things around the UK, both at locations and in people's own homes through the Just Dance app, are going to be culminating in the Game to Give show, which is going to be on BBC Three, iPlayer and TikTok, broadcasting on the 10th of November from Confetti X in Nottingham, where our regional finalists Our regional champions are going to be facing off against each other and against teams of celebrities on the HADO court to see, basically, find ourselves off our overall BBC Children in Need 2023 HADO champions. So that is going to be very, very cool. We don't yet know who their celebrity opponents are going to be. We should be finding out pretty soon, because they're going to be coming and training with us. So we'll be teaching them how to play the sport, so that they are suitably up to speed for when they come up against our regional teams, who, as you've seen through the games, things we've been running here today, obviously watch the Barnsley match and what we're going to be doing in the future. They've had a pretty intense introduction to the sport, really got into it, started to get that ability rolling, so we've got to make sure their opponents have got an equal level of understanding of how to play and what's going on as we move forwards. So just waiting for our teams to get their breath back, and then we will have them on the pitch and ready to go. So we've seen some fantastic matchups between these two teams. They're clearly our strongest teams as we've gone through both rounds. So 2.5 Lewis and Senior Citizen. Their first round matchup, 2.5 Lewis's came out ahead. Second round matchup, Senior Citizens came out ahead. So this is absolutely all to play for in the final now between these two teams. Could go easily either way in terms of who's going to take this match. Should be a really, really awesome setup. Now, as I said, they've just done a whole load of back-to-backs, so we are giving them a little bit of breathing space while we're getting into that. So for those who don't know as well, different bits about HADO, obviously, hopefully by now, it's kind of made sense if you've been watching so far. But the way it functions, it uses augmented reality, so we're adding graphics into reality with the players. So they're still seeing the real world, they're seeing everything else around them as normal, which is allowing them to move, speed and confidence. But now you've got graphics merged into the real world with you. Now this allows us to do some quite incredible things. Not just what you're seeing here today, all the broadcasts we're doing out over 5G or any other bits, but it actually allows us to have a physical team sport where our two teams don't need to be on the same court. So we can play City versus City. We have in the past played Coventry versus London. We can also play across continents, so we have played London versus Miami. We can go even further than that, and we can move out to a few weeks ago we had a full tournament between Coventry and Seoul in South Korea, which was quite amazing. So we've got teams 5,500 miles apart from each other playing in real time in a team-based physical sport with nobody needing to get on a plane, which again, what we can do with this technology now is quite amazing. We're also, because we are a digital sport, as you're going to see after we've run this final and we go into our AI challenge, just like in a computer game where you have digital opponents, we can do that, but now inside of physical sport. So we can give you digital opponents to play against. Okay, and those digital opponents can be set to different skill levels and ability levels to push you. So when you're training as a team, they can be there as your challenge. But what they also mean is that it gives us a benchmarking process. So what we do as we go through these tournaments is that once we've found our tournament winner in one of our locations, they're facing off against a challenge, and that challenge is to fight the system, the training AIs, because they're a static difficulty. Now, it doesn't matter where we go in the country, a level 3 AI is still a level 3 AI. So how you do against those is a way that we can then rate our 8 regional winners against each other. Because obviously they're in totally different places and we haven't got enough courts at the moment to be in all those places at the same time. So, although we can technically do it, just need to get here. So what we're doing for the moment though is we're taking each of our regional winners and we're battling them against the AIs. So you play the AIs and you start on level 3. Assuming you win, you then play level 4. You win there, you go against level 5. You keep going until you lose, and then basically whatever your point score is against that highest level, that's where your ranking point is. So the winning team out in Barnsley last week, they got to the rank 6 AIs, and they scored 10 points against them. So in order to take the first place away from Barnsley, one of our regional champions, they've got to either get to level 6 and score more than 10 points, or get to level 7. At which point they'll take the first place away from Barnsley. And once we've done all 8 tournaments, we'll have all 8 of our teams ranked 1 through 8 in terms of that final challenge, and the top 2 teams will be the ones going through to the BBC show in November. So for the moment, obviously Barnsley number 1. Going to find out very soon whether they're actually going to manage to remain number 1, because these 2 teams are good. They're really good. So yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon? Barnsley going to stay number 1 or not? Be interesting to see. So looks like our got first one of our teams on the court now. So 2.5 Lewis are on the court, just waiting for senior citizens to come and join them. There are, obviously you can't see from where we're camera. We've got teams this side playing HADO, and this side is I think we've got about 5 or 6 different content creators with us, 4 film crews. So each time a team comes off the pitch, they get grabbed for another interview, and it kind of delays their return a little bit, which is quite cool. There's that much interest in what we're doing here and how it's all working, but it is slowing the teams come back to the pitch slightly. So here we go. They've got our pool 1 and pool 2 winning teams coming in for one final face-off. So again, as before, this is going to be a best of 3 matchup, but this is our final. And the winning team here will be our O2 champions, London champions, and will then get the chance to face the bot challenge and create their position in the national rankings. So some more coaching going on there from Coach Ash, trying to get them to think about movement, dodging and evasion work, and how they can shift themselves around in the space more effectively. Because obviously the more they move, the harder you'll be able to hit, but it's that mix of both being able to keep your eye on target whilst you're moving. So just generally flailing around doesn't help. You've got to be doing it in a really focused and intelligent way. So turns and spins, things like that, they're all good, but you've got to immediately snapping back to target and keeping yourself in line on your opponents. And obviously the more your opponents begin to move, the more you've got to now to start to fire ahead of people and try and predict movement and motion, so you can land those shots on them as they're shifting around the space. So teams just get themselves kitted and ready. Okay, and just getting ready to go live on court. So here we go. This is our London O2 Grand Final. Senior Citizens on blue versus 2.5 Lewis on red. So this is for the title of London O2 HADO champions and the right to face the AI challenge for your to gain your national ranking. Okay, just waiting for our last blue player to get themselves logged in. Yeah, just waiting for our final blue player. Okay, that is all of our teams now logged into play. Here we go. Game 1 of our grand final here at the O2. 2.5 Lewis on red versus Senior Citizens on blue. Yep, so we've got a call from one of the players there for a technical error, so we're just restarting the match. because obviously this is our grand final. We want this to be absolutely bang on. So players are just sorting out their kit, getting things retightened, a couple of bits to come loose, and making sure that everyone's logged in, ready, prepped, and good to go. Okay, just waiting for our last player to log themselves in. Okay, Coach Ash just sorting out getting the kit ready. Right. Just quick adjustments, make sure everything's good and tight, holding position properly. Teams prepped and good to go. So, here we go. Game 1 of our grand final. Here we go. Ten seconds. First points on the board for red. Well, it's 2.5 Lewis on red, Senior Citizen on blue. 20 seconds played. Small lead for red team here. Can they maintain it? Can they try to get some space between them and Senior Citizens? Senior Citizens holding them though. Just only 2-point lead. 1-point lead now, coming up at the halfway mark. Just back to that single-point lead. 2 points again. Just past the halfway now. Both teams really, really close. Really good solid shield wall there in the centre for Senior Citizens. 2.5 Lewis allowing it to stay up for way too long. 20 seconds remaining, just 1 point separating the teams here. Still just 1 point. Pulled it clear, 10 points apiece, 10 seconds remaining. Senior Citizens edging by a point now, 2 points. 2.5 Lewis have held this lead all the way through the game, and they're going to lose it in these last couple of seconds. Oh, yes they are. 1 point. 1 point win there for Senior Citizens in the first game. That's game 1. One more game to go, potentially if Senior Citizens take it, or 2 for 2.5 Lewis if they can take this all the way through to a decider. So very, very close, really good gameplay. Said 2.5 Lewis holding that for the about the first half of the game with that edge, and then pulled even in the third quarter, and Senior Citizens just managing to accelerate just in those last dying moments of the game in order to take the win. So that is game 1 in the grand final, being taken by Senior Citizens. Moving now into game 2. So 2.5 Lewis need to take this if they're going to stay in with a shot at the title, or possibly Senior Citizens are 80 seconds away from becoming the O2 champions down here in London, and making their way onto the National AI Challenge for their ranking. Here we go. Game on. HADO fight. First points on board there for both teams. 10 seconds played. Good movement, great communication both teams. Nice shielding coming in from both sides. 2.5 Lewis really managed to maximise on that. 5-point lead here. Can they keep this momentum going? Great momentum from 2.5 Lewis here. Much more aggressive on the opening plays. Fantastic laid up shield walls, and they're really holding this momentum. Senior Citizens with a massive job here to close that gap. 8-point lead, 30 seconds remaining. Game 1 went down to the wire. This looks going to be a dominating win for 2.5 Lewis in the second game. 20 seconds. 8 points difference. 9. 10 seconds now on the clock. Great central shield wall there from 2.5 Lewis. Absolutely, cutting at any opportunity Senior Citizens had out to close that gap. So that is game 2 to 2.5 Lewis. Game 2 to 2.5 Lewis. We are going to our third game decider in our final. Given how these teams have played to date, that is not a particularly that's not unsurprising outcome at this stage. But really, really great gameplay there. So, two teams just quickly having a discussion, getting their breath back before we move to a third game decider. Yep. So, going to get ready to cycle round. But it's the same. Communication, accuracy, timing, shields, really, really good from both teams. But fantastic use of the shields there from 2.5 Lewis. Really, really good in the way that they operated those. Nicely layered up, good positioning on them, absolutely shutting down the opportunities for the other team. So, we are 80 seconds away from finding our O2 champions. They are one game apiece in this final match. This is the decider. One way or another, we get our winners. Both teams just get themselves prepped and ready to go. All players now logged. Okay, here we go. 80 seconds to find our victors. First points on the board there for 2.5 Lewis. "20 seconds played, 3-point lead, 2-point lead to 2.5 Lewis. Senior Citizens have got to really pick this up. Great work closing that gap. They've pulled it back 5 points apiece. Both teams really picking up the pace here. This is absolutely all to play for. Senior Citizens now with a single-point lead. Pulled it back again from 2.5 Lewis. 7 points each at the halfway mark. So it looks like we're going to go right down to the wire here with these two teams. 30 seconds remaining. 3-point lead. 2-point lead to 2.5 Lewis. Senior Citizens have got the work cut out for them here. It's doable though. Only 2 points in it now. 20 seconds. Great communication coming out from 2.5 Lewis. Shields holding well for them. 10 seconds, 4-point lead. 5 seconds, 5-point lead. And that is it. 2.5 Lewis are the O2 champions. 19 points to 13, third game decider. So, congratulations to 2.5 Lewis's as our first O2 champions and winners of the London tournament. Amazing gameplay there from Senior Citizens. Taking it absolutely down to the wire. Really, really good from both sides there. So our champions, 2.5 Lewis, are now going to be facing off to get their national ranking. It's going to follow the same protocol that we did in Barnsley, where they will start off against the level 3 AIs. It will be single game, so they lose any game, they're out. And it's how far can you go. Every time they win a game, the AIs will be reset to 1 level difficulty higher, and we will keep going basically until they lose. To put that in perspective for the different levels, we're not bothering with levels 1 and 2 on the AIs, not for where the guys are now. Levels 1 and 2 are real sort of first-time players. They're quite hesitant how they move around. They're fairly predictable. They're not very accurate. They don't fire that often. So they're not really going to be a challenge for guys who had the level of experiences that the teams are at for today. Level 3 is competent beginner. So that's where we're going to start them off at, and we're going to work up from there. So when we get our sort of big jumps is when we go from level 5 to level 6. So level 6 we get a big jump, and at level 6 the AI starts doing something that very few of our players have done so far today, which is they duck. So they start dropping body height down, they'll shift low around the space. The level 7s, beating level 7 is the sort of the benchmark point, like minimum standard for international play. Yeah, if you want to have a shot at being in selection or getting anywhere, you've got to be able to beat level 7. Okay, and there are a number of countries that don't yet have a team that can beat that level 7 mark. In the UK, the teams in our Premiership in the UK, in the HADO UK Premiership, can all beat level 7. Most of them can beat level 9, which is where it tops out at on the AIs. But level 7 is that international. You're getting into that sort of like real high-end competitive play standard. So seeing where the teams get to, how they work from there, is going to be really fascinating to see how they go in this final challenge. So we're going to have the human team playing on red and the bots playing on blue in the AI challenge. So when we activate this round, the bots kind of sort of weird green men, so sort of green sphere on top of a conical body. We're shifting around, but just like the players, they've got that same sort of target marker in front of them, and that positioning that shows their orientation, shows where they're angling at, where they're looking at, high, low, so you can see basically where the bots are facing, same way you could with a human, see where their shots are coming from. They'll raise shields and everything else, just like the human players will. Their movement patterns, how they play, their tactics, their strategies are all mapped from gameplay by human players as well. So although you get variation in them to an extent in how they play, they're not just randomized algorithms in what they're doing. So it does give some really nice shifts and setups to what they are. The bots will be on exactly the same stats, abilities, and everything else as the human players. So it's a really even challenge for people to move into. So the team's just getting a breather, because obviously played some pretty intense games there across their matches, and they are very well deserved winners here. But let's see how they're going to do when they face off against the machines. And while we're waiting for them to get their breath back, as ever, on all my general reminders, give money to children in need. They're awesome. They will do amazing things with it. So make sure you hand some money their way. Obviously, there's loads of ways to donate to them. There's texts, there's blogs to the website, there's lots of things there. Don't use X to put children in need into a Google search and take yourself straight there. More than me reading the website off for you. And thanks again for the opportunity to run the tournament here at the O2, courtesy of our partners Virgin Media O2, and the amazing connectivity that we've had for this tournament provided by the combination of Ericsson and VMO2, allowing us to basically have our own 5G tower in a box that we're shifting around event to event with us, allowing us to broadcast, stream, and create all this amazing content. Yeah, it's been very, very cool. It's only match 2 as well. We've got another 6 of these tournaments to go over the month of October, as we're bouncing around the UK to lots of different locations and places. All new teams, new players. It's going to be quite amazing to see the talent for the sport that comes out of this. But yeah, our O2 London champions just getting themselves ready now. They're going to be playing on the red side, and that is 2.5 Lewis, and they're going to be playing against our bots on the blue. So we're going to be starting off again as we did in Barnsley with a level 3. So we'd expect from what we've seen today, they're going to pretty much wipe the floor with the level 3s, but we've got to start everyone at the same point for it to be a fair challenge as we go through. We actually use the bots quite a lot for sort of fitness and stamina challenges for our teams, because they always show up to training, they never get tired, always good to go again, but they're this great sort of static difficulty. It's almost like being on a weights machine, changing the marker on it for different resistance levels. So they're really, really good to play against for stamina, fitness, and different levels of tactics as well, because you can program the bots to match to whatever you need them to be. So If you've got a specific type of tactic that you find difficult, you can program the bots to basically favour that sort of tactic. If you've got a team who you meet in tournament who are just for whatever reason they're your nemesis, just can't seem to get past them, you can program the bots to try and match to as close to them as possible, and then try a whole loads of tactics and strategies against them to see if you can come up with something that when you meet the real people might actually get you through this time. So as a resource, they're quite amazing what they allow us to do. Right, looks like our teams are just about ready to re-enter the court, and let's get this challenge on. So, as I said, we're going to be starting off with level 3 bots, and we're moving up from there. So every time they win a round, they will move up. Barnsley managed to reach level 6 and scored 10 points against the level 6 in their defeat there. So in order to take Barnsley's number 1 top spot, you have either got to reach level 6 and score more than 10 points, or reach level 7. Either of those outcomes will take you into first place in the national rankings. Obviously, at the moment, this is only going to be 2 teams, so we can have a team 1 and 2, which is great. But then it's for our other matches coming through for whether they can catch them. And obviously, the higher the score from these earlier matches, the harder that benchmark to come up to, the tougher it's going to be for those teams that follow on after them to achieve any sort of like high, good, strong outcome or anything else as they go through. So, great to go to the court. So we've got our teams here just getting some briefing from Coach Ash, just so they get themselves kitted up. We've got our 3 AIs hovering and waiting for play. The AIs will not begin motion until game starts. The AIs will shift and move around space. They generally move a lot more than humans do. Yep. So here we go. Just a bit of advice on basically where they need to try to achieve, but for the moment, just face the level 3s, beat the level 3s, and we'll move you on from there. Here we go. Round 1 of the bot challenge for their national ranking. Level 3s, here we go. First points on the board to red team. Good play so far. Said from what we've seen so far, we expect them to dominate against the level 3s, but everyone's got to start at the same level and work their way through the same process in order to give us a fair outcome. Okay, 3 points on the board for the bots here. So we're expecting this to be a good clean win. So level 3 are your sort of competent first timers, so early play, not a great deal of experience yet. And from what we've seen from 2.5 Lewis, yeah, there's no expectation that level 3s were going to be a real challenge from here, but we need to work them through the process from beginning to start. Gives them a bit of an idea of what the bots are like, how they move. Last 5 seconds now. Nice, easy win for against the level 3s. Nice, straightforward. So they're taking out the level 3s. We'll be moving up to level 4. Bit of banter there to the bots. So we're going to cycle the players around, and we're going to move them up to level 4. So teams just get themselves prepped and ready to cycle around. We give them basically a minimum break time between the bot rounds, just get the breath back to go again. Now, the bots, obviously, every level, the bots get faster. They get more accurate, they get more tactically savvy, and they don't get tired. And as you're shifting through this, obviously, they've already played a full tournament, and now each round of this, as we tick through it, is going to get tougher. So the bots get faster, they get more competent, more capable. Their shield positioning gets better, their accuracy picks up. So teams now are discussing the potential bot tactics, where this could go. So here we go, let's get ourselves back on court. Okay, teams just get themselves logged and ready. Here we go, round level 4, round 2. So good opening there from red team, 4 points on the board. Good play. So a little bit tougher now, not quite as dominating from Reds as they were in round 1, but still good, fairly strong position. "30 seconds remaining. All they have to do is win. 3 points in it. 20 seconds on the clock. 5-point lead, 6-point lead. It's looking like should be a nice clear win here for the red team against ranked level 4s. In this case, we'll be moving them up to level 5s next. I said Barnsley achieved beat level 5, but lost to the level 6s, scoring 10 points against them. So that's the current benchmark. That's the first place position right now. So good play all round. So moving up to level 5 now. So again, that's going to be another increase in speed, in aggression, in gameplay, accuracy, and everything else in the bots. So each and every time we transition through this, those bots are picking up an ability each time. So be interesting to see how the teams do here. Obviously, we're going to see that step up. So level 5, we get quite a big increase in speed. As I said, level 6, then we get that really big shift because they start to duck. And up until this point, the bots stay upright because that's generally what players do at the start, until they start to get more confident, and then you don't really see them sort of ducking down. You start to get groundwork happening, lots of shifts land low, get knee slides, slips and twists, and all things happening down the low groundwork. But that's a much more experienced set of tactics than we'd normally expect to see, especially from people in their first tournaments. So level 5, probably a pretty good positioning for people in their early tournaments. Here we go. Round 3 of the bot challenge. They need to beat these to get onto that level 6 in order to have a chance at taking Barnsley's top spot on the leaderboard. 3-2 at the moment. Bots have pulled it back to 3-all. Good couple of shields there, just holding the bots off for a second. 1 point lead. 2 point leads. Start to edge ahead now. 40 seconds. 2 point lead at the moment for red team. Bots have pulled it back again, 30 seconds remaining. Reds have really got to step this up. Bots has pulled it back again, 20 seconds remaining here. Bots now edging into the lead by a point. 15 seconds. 2 points down. 10 seconds. 12 points apiece. Bots by a point. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Bots taken 15-13. Rank 5s. That's a great finish there from our O2 champions. That puts them currently second place in the national table against the rank 5s. Barnsley maintain their top spot. So that is 13 points scored against the rank 5s. And that's now our second position in the overall national rankings. So Barnsley maintain their position in the lead. Let's see if we can get someone to come after them. Okay, guys. So we have our champions, 2.5 Lewis. We have their ranking. We have their ranking score, and we'll see how that develops as we go through these tournaments. And that for today is us. So we hope you enjoyed watching the matches. Apologies if you were there right at the start. There may have been a little bit of delay on some buttons pressing, so apologies for that. But hopefully the rest of the tournament's been really good to watch. Thank you again to O2 and Virgin for this amazing venue we've been in today. To Ericsson for our connectivity. And Children in Need for being our partners to help bring HADO to all these different locations across the UK. I hope you enjoyed watching us, and we will see you tomorrow at 1:30 at Queen Mary's College in Basingstoke. We've got another full set of teams ready to hit the HADO court and give us some fantastic gameplay to watch. So until then.